Page 28, La Raspa, or Raspa, however you say it. The top of the page, they're introducing a new time signature. Hopefully you already know, I haven't been saying it, but hopefully you do. I say it a lot in the level 1 book. Top note is how far you got to count. Now we got to count to 6, that's great. And the bottom note is what you're counting, or what gets beat. In this case, 8 means 8th note. So an 8th note gets a count, and there's 6 8th notes in a measure, or could be 6 8th notes in a measure. Well, if an 8th note gets a beat, then a quarter note gets 2 beats. A dotted quarter note gets 3 beats. You do the math, it's all there. So they give examples there, and that's fine and wonderful. Great. A dotted half note gets 6 counts. Yeah. But let's go down to the first line here on the piece in the right hand. It has a pickup beat, so it would be on beat 6. So it goes 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's blah. Now, a lot of 6/8 timepieces are actually felt in 2 pulses per measure. So they speed it up where it just goes 1, 2, 1, 2. So the counting is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It almost sounds, well, it does. It sounds like triplets, but it's not. A lot of marches are written in 6/8 time. So you think they're playing triplets. They're not. It's 6/8 time. So if I speed that up to a 1, 2, 1, 2, 2, 2, because the left hand is playing that pulse. 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You put them together, and it's got a and etc. throughout the whole thing. And that's really all there is to it. It's pretty simple, in my opinion. Maybe not when you're first learning it, but you'll do fine. I'm sure you will. Now, as far as fingering goes, I could suggest all kinds of things for the fingering in the right hand for the last 2 lines on page 29. Because of the repeated notes, I don't like using the same finger, because it's here. You know, you can alternate 1 and 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. You just have to figure out which finger you got to start on in order to be 2 on the second set of 3/8 notes. On beat 4, you need your second finger. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4 right there. So it'd be 1, 2, 1, 2. And then here again. If you find that difficult, okay, but I would still encourage you to try and do this kind of stuff because it'll sure make playing easier for fast piece. This is actually a fast piece, in theory, but we'll see. The left hand's straightforward. You got primary chords. You just... Do I see a 4 chord? I don't. It's just the 1 chord and the 5/7 chord. Simple enough. Now, over on page 29, 3rd line down, you got first and second endings, but there's no repeat sign on the first ending. So when you finish the first ending, you skip the second and go on to the next line. Now, the last 2 lines are repeated, and it has a first and second ending with repeat signs. So you're going to repeat it 1 time, and there's a note there, second time 8VA. So the first time on the 4th line down on page 29, you're here, there, but when you repeat it, now you're up here. The left hand stays where it's at. If they wanted both hands up, there has to be a note in both hands. They didn't do that. So left hand is left out, sorry, stay where you're at. After you repeat it, and you get to the last measure on page 29, there is a DC Alfine. If DC, as you remember, you do remember, means go back to the beginning. That's over on page 28. And go to fine. Alfines, go to fine. The fine is the second ending on page 29, line 3. It's the end. So that's where you end it. And that's how we do this. Isn't that fun? So let's try this really slow. And you can speed it up on your own. This actually has areas in it where they want you to speed up. Look at the note at the beginning. It says second time accelerando poco al fine. Means after the DC and you come back, then you're going to increase speed, accelerate slowly. Poco a poco, it just means bit by bit. Slowly accelerate to the fine, which is over there where I told you where it was. It hasn't moved yet, it's still there. Well, when you start doing stuff like this and it's spread out over a lot of measures, you got to plan ahead, because otherwise you're going to be accelerating way too fast, way too soon, and that really ruins it. You want to save most of your speeding up for more toward the end of this. So pick it. Say for the first line, I'm only inching up a little bit. So if I started out at this speed, I'm only going to increase that. I'm going to start out at that speed and just increase a little bit. I'm going to keep that speed probably for the whole first line on page 29. Then in the next line, I'll speed up just a little more, not much. And for the last line, I'll speed up a little more and just try and speed up to the end gradually. Isn't that fun? You have to experiment with this, slowing down and speeding up and all this stuff they're telling you to do, because it takes planning. That's where practicing comes in. When we do the play with me together, I'm using metronome. Metronomes don't speed up and slow down on their own, so we're going to play it all one speed. And that speed is slow. Yeah, so your right hand goes here, left hand here. And I will give us 5 counts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, go. 1, 2, 3, ready, go. Like that. Okay. Now understand that we're counting to 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But the pulse is felt in 2. So I'm going to set the metronome for the pulse, not the counting. So the metronome is set for 2 beats per measure. In other words, it's a dotted quarter note. We do this with a metronome. We have to adjust metronomes when you get to the extremes, either fast or slow. You got to bring it back in the middle and adjust it. So instead of eighth notes, we simply, okay, this is going to be dotted quarter notes, and each beat on the metronome are 3 eighth notes. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3. Because if I set it for eighth notes at that speed, I'd have to set it at 180. And that's moving. Boom, 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 boom. Now you're thinking, now that's too fast to follow with a metronome. That's just silly. So we bring it back down. So let's try this out. 1, 2, 3, ready, go. Pulse. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Pulse. 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 Repeat. To the beginning. 4, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2,